Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the world of Queen Lala.
Oh, yeah.
This is a figure who's really making waves these days with her unique perspective on things. So we're diving deep into Queen Lala's book of quotes today.
Okay.
And, I think we're going to be able to understand her thoughts on a lot of things.
Okay.
From success and spirituality to, just how to handle the haters and, those who rub you the wrong way.
Yeah, she's definitely got something to say about all that.
Absolutely. To give you just a little taste,
Okay.
she says things like, if you want to be great, be great from within.
Oh, wow.
Or my attitude is queen. She's my defense personality when interacting with assholes.
Oh, my God.
Pretty intriguing, right?
Definitely.
Well, it was intriguing.
Yeah.
So let's start unpacking her philosophy, shall we?
Let's do it.
One of the first things that really struck me when I was reading through this book
Okay.
was Queen Lala's take on achieving greatness. It's not just about external success for her. It's about cultivating inner strength.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. And she specifically says, if you want to be great from within, then surround yourself with great people who are doing great things, have positive vibes, and unite with the strength of the creator behind you.
Wow.
So it seems like a very holistic approach. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
How she links inner transformation with external achievement,
Yeah.
She's essentially saying that greatness starts with you,
Right.
with building a strong foundation of values and self-belief. But it doesn't just stop there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your environment matters too.
Right.
Surround yourself with people who uplift you and inspire you.
Yeah.
And finally, she adds that spiritual dimension. Yeah. Connecting with something larger than yourself.
It's like she's saying you can't reach your full potential in isolation.
Exactly.
You need that supportive community and a sense of purpose to truly thrive. But this idea of greatness,
Right.
it's so subjective, isn't it?
It is.
What do you think she means by that?
That's a great question.
And how does that resonate with you?
Well, I think for Queen Lala,
Yeah.
greatness isn't about fame or fortune. It's about living authentically
Right.
and, making a positive impact on the world.
Yeah, I see that thread of authenticity running through a lot of her ideas,
Oh, yeah.
especially when she talks about the power of say and no.
Interesting.
She's very adamant about embracing no as a tool for setting boundaries and protecting your energy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she says, if you ask me an opinion about something and I say NA no, don't think of it as a bad thing. No is a healthy word to use at times, believe me. No is also a resilient word against the opposition. At the end of the day, the word no is powerful, productive, and pragmatic. It is one of my favorite words in the English language. She even goes on to say, no is an extremely powerful to the opposition. Get used to saying it and get used to hearing it. So she's encouraging people to reclaim their power just by using the simple word.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It really ties back to that idea of self-reliance and, not being afraid to stand up for yourself.
Right.
And I think that resonates with so many people
Yeah.
because in today's world,
Yeah.
we're constantly bombarded
Right.
with requests and demands.
Yeah.
Learning to say no can be incredibly liberating,
It's about recognizing your own limits
right?
and not feeling obligated to please everyone.
Yeah.
Which brings us to another fascinating aspect of Queen Lala,
Okay.
her self-proclaimed queen persona.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, she doesn't hold back when describing it. Queen Lala states, my attitude is queen. She is my defense personality when interacting with assholes. She is unapologetic, inquisitive, and assertive. Do not be offended or afraid of her. She just doesn't like ignorant mindsets, people presuming things about her reality or joking without knowing her boundaries.
Wow. That's powerful.
So what do you make of this queen persona? Is it a form of self-empowerment,
Yeah.
a defense mechanism, or something else entirely?
Well, it's definitely a way of asserting herself
Right.
and setting boundaries,
Yeah.
especially in situations where she feels disrespected.
Yeah.
There's a fierce independence in that statement.
Right.
She's saying, this is me,
Right.
take it or leave it.
Yeah.
And if you come at me with negativity, my queen will shut you down.
It's like she's created this armor to navigate a world that doesn't always appreciate strong, outspoken women. What do you think? Does that resonate with you at all?
It certainly does. I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
regardless of gender, can relate to feeling the need to protect themselves
Right.
from negativity or put on a brave face when they're dealing with difficult people.
Yeah, it's that idea of building resilience.
Right.
And not letting others dim your shine.
Mm-hmm.
But how does this queen persona play out in
Right.
her communication style?
Interesting.
Because from what we've seen in the book, it's quite unique.
Yeah, her approach to language is definitely unconventional.
Right. For instance, she says, I adjust my accent to flavor the current language I want to speak so that the sounds mimic something you're familiar with and it won't sound strange.
Oh, wow.
It's almost like she's creating a linguistic tapestry.
Interesting.
You know, weaving together different dialects and tones to suit her audience and her message.
Exactly.
And she even uses the word gibberish.
Right.
To describe this collection of undeveloped sounds. So it suggests she's interested in the musicality and rhythm of language, not just the literal meaning of words.
I like that.
She also mentions switching dialects from my current speech to the dominant society's version of speech so that people can possibly understand me better, which is essentially code switching.
Right.
Why do you think she does that?
That's a fascinating question.
Yeah.
You know, code switching is often used to navigate different social spaces or to connect with people from diverse backgrounds.
Yeah.
But for Queen Lala,
Yeah.
it seems to be more about challenging linguistic norms and expressing herself authentically.
It's like she's playing with language.
Right.
Using it as a tool to connect, challenge, and even confuse all at the same time.
Exactly. And it raises a question for you, the listener.
Ooh.
How does Queen Lala's use of language make you feel?
Yeah.
Does it intrigue you, confuse you,
Yeah.
or maybe even empower you to experiment with your own communication style?
That's a great question to consider.
Yeah.
As we move on to the next layer of Queen Lala's world,
Okay.
which involves her perspectives on love, family, and community.
Okay.
And trust me, it's not what you'd expect.
All right. I'm ready for it.
Let's dive in.
Let's go.
So we've been unpacking Queen Lala's unique approach to life. From, achieving greatness to the power of no.
Yeah.
And embracing her queen persona.
Absolutely.
But now we're going to be stepping into her views on love, family, and community.
Right.
And it's here that things get really thought-provoking.
Oh, yeah.
She definitely paints a picture of a world very different from the one we're living in.
Interesting.
One that's rooted in unity and connection.
Okay.
She says, if everyone lived like a family, there would no homeless people, no hunger, and no wars.
Wow.
Such a simple yet profound statement.
It is.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Could this idealistic vision actually work?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what does living like a family even mean?
Right.
On a global scale.
Right.
Does it mean sharing resources?
Yeah.
Offering support to those in need?
Right.
Or simply treating each other
Yeah.
with more kindness and compassion?
That's a radical idea.
It is?
But one worth exploring, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think it challenges us to imagine a world, beyond the divisions and conflicts that we're so accustomed to. A world where everyone feels a sense of belonging and support.
And this idea of interconnectedness.
Right.
It seems to extend beyond just humanity.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
She talks about the natural world in a similar way, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
Right. She lists bones, flesh, chemicals, blood, spirit, water, electricity.
Play.
Suggesting that we're all part of the same web of life, both physically and spiritually.
It's this beautiful blend of science and spirituality. Yeah.
She's not rejecting the material world. She's embracing the spiritual dimension within it.
Exactly. It's a very holistic perspective.
Right.
One that sees the sacred in the everyday.
But while this vision of unity and interconnectedness is very inspiring, Queen Lala also acknowledges the realities of a world that often falls short of these ideals.
Yeah.
Which brings us to her, shall we say,
Okay.
unconventional views on marriage.
Right. This is where she really throws a curveball.
She doesn't hold back.
Yeah.
She states, marriage is a unity of the community through success, respect, family, culture, and generational legacy, with the union of two or more individuals.
Okay.
So it's clear that for her,
yeah,
marriage is more about building community
mm-hmm.
and ensuring legacy than adhering to a specific structure.
It's a fascinating perspective that raises a lot of questions.
Right.
For example, what does two or more individuals really mean in this context?
Yeah.
Is she opening the door to polyamorous relationships? Well, she does go on to say, if men can have more than one wife, at least the woman should have two husbands, one for now and one for later.
Wow.
So it seems like she's advocating for a more egalitarian approach to polyamory, you know?
Yeah.
Challenging the traditional power dynamics that often exist in those arrangements.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
You know, she's not just critiquing the institution of marriage.
Right.
She's also challenging gender norms within it.
Right.
What do you make of that?
It definitely pushes the boundaries of how we typically think about relationships and family structures.
Right.
It makes you wonder if our current models of marriage are truly serving everyone's needs.
Yeah.
Or if there's room for more diverse and inclusive forms of commitment.
It's certainly a conversation starter.
Absolutely.
But while Queen Lala is all about embracing love and community, she's also very aware of the negativity that can arise when you challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
So how does she deal with haters?
Right.
And those who try to bring her down?
Well, she has a few strategies up her sleeve.
Okay.
And they're as unique as her perspective on life itself. You know, she's incredibly self-aware about the attention she receives, even the negative kind.
Okay.
She says, it's like, you can't help it. Every time I roll through, all you can talk about is me, me, me. If energy was a currency, I would be rich of all the promotion y'all give me.
Wow.
So it's almost like she's turning the negativity into fuel.
Right.
You know?
It's really an approach, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's not letting the negativity get to her.
Right.
She's using it to her advantage. And I think there's a lesson there for all of us.
Yeah.
You know, instead of letting criticism drain you.
Right.
Try to reframe it as a source of motivation. Use it to prove your doubters wrong and keep moving forward.
And then there's her take on NPCs and bots, which is a term often used online to describe people who seem to lack individuality or critical thinking.
Okay.
And she warns us to beware of NPCs and bots, suggesting that some negativity isn't even worth engaging with.
That's such a key point.
Yeah.
It's about discerning which battles are worth fighting.
Right.
And which ones are best ignored. Sometimes the most powerful response is simply to walk away and focus your energy on things that truly matter.
It's about protecting your mental and emotional space from unnecessary drama. And then, of course, there's her signature move.
Right.
When she doesn't want to address something directly as a secret.
Ah, yes. The art of maintaining mystery.
It's so playful.
It is.
Yet powerful.
Right.
Right. She's essentially saying, you can try to figure me out.
Right.
But ultimately, some things will always remain hidden.
Yeah.
What do you think is the effect of this approach?
It definitely adds to her mystique and keeps people guessing.
Right.
But it also allows her to control her own narrative.
Right.
You know, she's choosing what to reveal and what to keep private.
Right.
Which is a form of self-empowerment in itself.
Yeah.
It's like she's inviting you to consider what you think those secrets might be.
Right.
To fill in the blanks with your own imagination.
It's a clever way to engage with her audience while still maintaining a sense of privacy. And it definitely leaves you wanting to know more.
It does.
But as we delve deeper into Queen Lala's world, we have to ask, what are the core beliefs that underpin all these ideas?
Yeah.
What is the foundation upon which her philosophy is built? To answer that, we need to explore the spiritual side of Queen Lala, and that's where we'll pick things up in the final part of our deep dive.
I'm ready when you are.
Let's go even deeper. So we've explored Queen Lala's views on, you know, greatness and boundaries, and even her unconventional ideas about love and family.
Right.
But something tells me there's more to uncover.
I agree. I think that to fully grasp Queen Lala's perspective, we need to understand the spiritual foundation that underpins her philosophy.
One quote that really jumps out from the book is, God doesn't exist in a book. Pretty bold statement, right?
It is a bold statement.
What do you make of it?
Well, it's a clear departure from traditional religious dogma. Queen Lala seems to be suggesting that spirituality is a lived experience.
Right.
Not something confined to texts or institutions.
Right.
It's about connecting with something larger than yourself, however you choose to define that.
And she reinforces that idea when she says, I'm a believer, but not a part of your club.
Right.
It's like she's forging her own path, drawing wisdom from various sources, but ultimately trust in her own intuition.
Exactly. She's embracing a more personalized approach to spirituality, which aligns with her emphasis on self-reliance and independent thinking. It's about finding what resonates with you personally, rather than blindly following a prescribed set of beliefs.
That makes sense. And this independent spirituality seems to inform her vision of a united world, a world where everyone lived like a family, as she puts it.
Beautiful sentiment.
It is, but how does that tie back to her spiritual beliefs?
I think it stems from a deep sense of interconnectedness.
Okay.
You know, she sees us all as part of a larger whole.
Right.
Of one human nation.
Right.
Many colors, as she describes it. You know, it's about recognizing our shared humanity. And transcending the divisions that often separate us.
That resonates with me, and the sense of interconnectedness extends beyond just humanity, too.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
She talks about the natural world with that same reverence. She lists bones, flesh, chemicals, blood, spirit, water, electricity, clay.
Right.
Almost like a sacred mantra.
It's like she's acknowledging the spiritual essence within the material world. The life force that connects us all.
Right.
From the smallest atom to the vast expanse of the universe.
It's a beautifully holistic perspective. And it makes me think of another term she uses to describe herself. Syncretist theist. I have to admit, I had to look that one up.
Oh, wow.
It refers to someone who blends different belief systems. You know, taking elements from various traditions to create a unique spiritual path.
It speaks to her open-mindedness and willingness to explore different ways of understanding the world. You know? She's not bound by rigid doctrines. She's creating a spiritual tapestry that reflects her own individual journey.
It's like she's saying, take what resonates with you, leave what doesn't, and create something meaningful for yourself.
Exactly. And throughout her writings, we see these recurring themes, you know, of beauty, love, magic, meditation, power. It suggests a spiritual practice that embraces both inner and outer transformation, cultivating personal power while recognizing the interconnectedness of all things.
It's that balance of self-reliance and unity that I find so compelling. And she even talks about karma, about reaping what you sow, happening in real time. It's like she's saying that our actions have consequences, not just in some distant future, but right here, right now.
In the here and now.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's a reminder that we're all co-creating reality with every thought, word, and deed. It encourages us to be mindful of our choices and to act with intention, knowing that our actions ripple outward and ultimately shape the world around us.
It's a powerful concept. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Queen Lala, what stands out to you the most?
Well, I think Queen Lala's message, while often unconventional, is ultimately one of empowerment and self-discovery, you know. She encourages us to embrace our individuality, to challenge the status quo, and to create a world that reflects our highest values.
It's about finding your own voice, setting boundaries, and connecting with something larger than yourself, whether that's a spiritual force, a sense of community, or simply the interconnectedness of all living things.
Exactly.
What do you think?
Yeah, it makes me wonder, what will you take away from Queen Lala's words? What sparks your curiosity? How will you integrate her ideas into your own life?
That's a great question to ponder. We've explored a lot of ground today.
We have.
From achieving greatness to navigating negativity and embracing a unique spiritual path.
Queen Lala's words may challenge you, inspire you, or even confuse you at times. But they are undeniably thought-provoking.
So we encourage you to continue the conversation, share your thoughts, ask questions, and most importantly, keep exploring the world with an open mind and a curious heart. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Queen Lala.